Good morning. My first morning from my first ever solo wild camp here in Snowdonia. Today we're going to climb the Watkins path up Snowdon. Let's have a look at what the view's like. There's a bit of condensation from last night, so I'll have to let it dry out a little bit more. Are you ready for this? Oh. There is the Ogwen Valley. That's where we solo wild camped out last night. Cheers. Just look at the view. So I'm going to have this coffee. Then I'm going to pack my tent away. I've just sort of got the door open a bit, then opened up all the vents just so there's a bit of condensation on the outer skin of this tent. So just sort of trying to let that air out for like the next, I don't know, 20 minutes or so. It's 5:15 in the morning right now. And then I'll have my coffee, get everything sorted, get it back to the car, head over to the start point of the Watkins path, change a few bits into my day pack, and then start the ascent up Snowdon via the Watkins path. Yeah, I love this. This is another thing I love. I'm just packing up. As you can see, I've got a few bits out and I'm just sort of packing up the bag now, but the sun is just rising over the mountains. Wow. And is it bad that I've only just this second spotted all the way on top of Trefan? See those two little stubs sticking up? There's Adam and Eve. I've only just noticed that. I've been here for the night and that's what I've just noticed. Wow. There we go then, in the sunrise of the Ogwen Valley. It's 6:06 in the morning. We've left absolutely no trace. We've followed the guidelines. We're going to follow now the path that goes all the way down past Lyn Idwell, I think that's what it's called. The lake down here at the Ogwen Valley. Here I go, I'll get up on the high point and I'll show you where I'm going. So, there's the lake. We're going to cross that beach bridgeway just there. I'm going to follow that path there and basically we're going to go over towards that lake there because that's where the car's parked. It took us, it's around about 4,000 steps to be fair. It really doesn't look like it, but 6:06 in the morning, we've got our bag up, we've been up for an hour, we've had a coffee. It's time to head over to start the Watkins path, but it's still a nice drive, a nice walk and stroll, so we're still going to show you all this sort of stuff. The bugs have just started to come out. As soon as that sun risen over the mountain, the bugs started coming out, so I've got to be heavy on the insect repellent today, just because basically I'm a bit of a pansy. Let's go. Oh, there's the sheepy. That's the one from last night. Oh, there we go. Yeah, if you didn't see yesterday's video, that's the one before this one basically. And we had these two guys come and stay with us for only for about 10 minutes, but yeah, how cool are they? Just had a nice chat with a bloke who's come down here to check on the plant species. Apparently there's loads of endangered species of plants both within the lake and around the actual lake, including carnivorous plants in the UK. It was quite interesting to talk to him, but I was getting ready to have a little swim. Oh, you best not do that, mate. There's some endangered species. It's a very sensitive bioecological centre, so I was like, oh, I don't want to ruin anything like that. But yes, beautiful. Let's go to the car. I'll tell you what, guys, good thing we come off the mountain as quick as we did at the time we did, because check it out. There we go. It's already in the clouds. I'm hoping, fingers crossed. I mean, we were 600 meters up last night, and that's what's in the clouds at the moment. I'm hoping it's not like that when we get to Snowdon, and I hope it's not like that on the way up Snowdon. Now, I've got all my navigation equipment. I know where I'm going. I know the route I'm taking. I've never been on the route, but I know how to read a map, so I should be okay. But it'd just be nice if we did have some views. I don't know. It's still not going to make it an even better day or an even worse day. It's going to be absolutely amazing. Yeah, the clouds have really come in. That's just there. That's where we were last night. And it's in the clouds. Oh, it's amazing. Look at Trefan. Looking bright as anything. Right, we're getting close. It didn't feel this long getting to the camping spot last night, but I can't wait to get into the car. I'm going to have some breakfast and head over. Oh, This is the waterfall that I was hearing all night. I want to quickly show you these trig points, right? Now, I know the camera's shaking. It'll stop in a second. This is just the names of the mountains that are around here. Stunning. Yeah. Glenafleur, 1001. That's that one at the back, right there. Glenaflack, 994. That's slightly next to it. Trefan. Whoosh, there he is. Amazing. Pennier Ogwen. Whoosh, there. just, yeah, I love it. Whoosh, that one up there. Falgoch. Whoosh, that one just there. It's just a little something. Hold on, I always get a selfie with this. Oh, there we go, back in the car. I'm going to get some stuff on charge, have some breakfast while I'm on the way to Bedgello. Breakfast, I've got an apple and a protein shake that's just full of energy as well, so that'll give me that little kick just to kick start the walk. And that one's quite good actually, because it slowly reduces the energy, so you never hit that. But normally with protein shakes you'll walk and then the energy will just stop. That one doesn't, so that's why I like that. Plus it's a nice healthy fully nutritious breakfast for me. Right, time to get everything on charge and head over. Car's parked. Let's go and see these famous waterfalls that the Watkins path is so famous for. Boingy, 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 boingy. This is actually quite a good camera, but check it out. There's the start point. Whoosh. Official start time 7:45. Let's have a go and see how long it's going to take. So what makes the Watkins path so appealing is, one, it's littered with waterfalls the entire way, apparently. The last mile is dead steep and like shale, apparently. So that'll be fun. That's possibly the hardest part. This path is the path that starts the closest to sea level. So it's the biggest ascent that you can do. And to be fair, you ain't going to get a bigger ascent to in England unless you want to go to like the Ben Nevis regions and stuff like that. This is basically, I think it's 10 meters above sea level up to 1085 meters above sea level. I'm loving this. I'm loving this. Right in the woods. Just gone over a couple of little bridges with a couple of little streams running through them. It's just a gravel sort of track. There's a few big boulders, so you've still got to watch where you put your feet. It's getting warm though. 7:45 in the morning. I'm going to have to take my hoodie off, I think. Got the first sight of one of the big waterfalls. Look at that. 8:10 in the morning, and I've just changed into the shorts. It's going to be one of those hot days today, I think. The sun's beating down, sun creamed up. I'm in my shorts and t-shirt. Let's just keep going. Oh, let's go and see the waterfalls. Or what is the waterfall? There's one. That pool's got my name written all over it, and that's the view down the valley. Old house there. I must admit that must be like a farm building or an old mine building or something. Wow. Imagine when it's been raining like just after winter, or it all thaws out and starts gushing down here. That would be mesmerising. There's sort of like a little hydro dam sort of thing just there. That's quite good actually, because if the water comes gushing off the mountains, it will come straight up to this and it won't sort of overflow too much. It's just like a generated stream going down the mountain, so it doesn't get too much, it doesn't get too little. It's a constant adjacent adjustment. That was actually a word in my mind. But now the path started to flatten out a little bit, but we're going up around the back of that mountain just there. We should catch a glimpse of the summit to see if it's in the clouds or not very shortly. Just look at how crystal clear the water is. I mean, just look. Wow. Coming up to that rock there, Gladstone Rock. It's a great marker from the OS maps because it is on the maps. Let's go and have a read of the sign. I can't figure out what the majority of it says. It's all faded out. Something about the Right Honourable something Prime Minister. Something to do with the Justice of Wales. Great. Now when I get home I'm going to have to Google that and find out all the details just because I'm really curious. Let's keep going. Look at the view. Are we going to get a view of Snowdon over this or around this corner? There's definitely a peak in the clouds just behind there, Yeah, I was right. The summit is in the clouds. It looks really bleak up there as well. But I'm still going to try and make it. Must admit, I am struggling with this one. I'm not normally this puffed out by... I think I'm only about a third of the way up. I think I'm just under 400 metres ascent. And I'm screwed. So I'm going to sit down up here just for a couple of minutes, just to catch my breath, and then crack on again. It's always nice to just sit down and just take in the scenery and just sort of see the views, but you can't sit down too long because your legs will seize up. It looks like the summit is just just starting to sort of gently clear just a little bit. So I'm going to make a move in a second. I've only been sat down for a minute or two, but I've also studied the OS Maps app. If you're not a premium member on that, you want to do it. It cost me £3.99 a month or £25 for a full year, and you can download the map. So out of signal, like I am right now, I'm totally out of signal. I can still get on the map and still have a good look. And I've had a study from where I am right now, and the GPS location points me to exactly whereabouts I am on the path, so I can just sort of see it. And I've managed to study it and find out the exact path I'm going on and the inclines that I've got left to do. So I'm basically got to go up that path there, and I'm currently sat right now at 390 meters above sea level. That does a fairly gradual incline up to around about 550 meters above sea level. Then it goes really steep onto that far ridge all the way over there, and it levels off. As you can see, it's fairly flat. But then, can you see that little path going up the side of Snowdon? That's the steep summit all the way up to the summit that's in the clouds. After just literally 5 minutes of sitting down, or not even that, 3 minutes, I'm mentally refreshed. I now think, yeah, I can do this. That end scramble at the end, that's going to be a struggle. I'm sat looking at that going, hoo hoo hoo. But we'll deal with that when we get to it. I'm feeling confident. So we're at that sort of slightly more flatter bit, which isn't too flat, but it's flatter than what I have gone up. I've got to make it to the top of here for the sole purpose. This will be my third ascent of Snowdon, and this will be my third summit of Snowdon. I've made it every time I've been up, and that's down to willpower. You can do it, you will do it, so go and do it. Just take as long as you need to do it. First time I went up the Llanberis Pass, up and down, which was brutal to be fair, 30,000 steps. But that was my first major hike, so I shouldn't have really done a mountain, but I did it. It took me 4 days to recover. I can hear a jet. Every now and then you see jets around here. My second one was up the Miners Path and back down the Pig Path. That shaved an hour off the time that I did Llanberis passing, which was quite good. 5 hours 45 on that one. This one, I'm not even doing a time trial. I know what time I started, I'll mark what time I finished, but I'm just taking a slow ascent up. On the way down, I'm going to go for a dip in the waterfalls and just go from there. But I keep looking at that path, the really steep one at the top, thinking, oh, that looks bad. But I'm going to do it. We're prepared, we've got everything we need. And plus, we're in all this beautiful scenery. Well, in case the landscape's slowly changing to a much more of a rockier path and the much more dramatic classic Snowdon backdrop. That path is getting closer and the summit is clearing. Ooh, now we're onto the steep bit and the summit's still in the clouds ever so slightly, but it is clearing. What a view. Oh, whoa. We're working our way up this steep bit and look, all the other mountains in the background are starting to come into show. Wow. Snowdon's getting thicker in clouds, but we're getting there, we're getting close. Well, I say we're getting close, we're getting close. It's just a case of follow this ridge up to there, and then what I imagine is across the top of that ridge, and then up that little path there, up to the summit, which is there. Oh, it's definitely a bit of a boulder fieldy sort of scramble now. We're still not at the end, but we're getting closer. It's just over there. I've been watching a group of lads on that path. They are, see them right at near enough the top. Still come near enough 45 minutes to get to there. So by my guesstimation, take about an hour to do that ridge. An hour of pure torture. 744 metres above sea level as we speak. It's amazing how the first 300 metres are really brutal. That 500 metres we've just done, not as harsh. It's amazing how that works out like that. But we're now in another boulder field heading towards the ridge. This is fun. It's getting fun. I love this. The views are amazing. I'm letting a lot of people go past in front. Well, I say a lot of people, 3. It's really not that busy. Oh, let them go up because I have a feeling that ridge is going to take me longer than what it should do. I think I'm just not feeling it 100% energized solely because I camped out last night. The summit is back in the clouds, which is a shame. But we'll have a look when we get up there. I'm just running along the flat ridge at the cross of the top. We're actually descending. I mean, it's only a 5-second descent here and then back up there. But can you see the path we've got to go up right at the end? That one. The summit looks busy. Look at how many people are sat up there. But, I mean, I'm doing it by this view here. It's a sheer drop down, but oh, I love this. You all need to come outdoors and do this sort of stuff. Holy mother of God, I'm halfway up. The view is amazing. I am knackered. I don't think I'm going to be able to get down on this path. 28 minutes it took me to get up. I don't honestly think I can get back down there. It was steep, it was really loose. There were some rock climbing areas. And it was a sheer drop. Now, it's mountains, you're going to get that, but I do have a fear of heights. Now, I thought I'd come over it with doing Helvellyn last weekend, but let me just quickly show you around right now. Whoosh. So if we go over that side, now I'm walking gently because that's the path I've come up. There you can see most of the path. Obviously that's not the waterfalls or anything like that. Over there, that's where like the miners path goes up there down to Penny Pass. The pig path goes across the top of there. It's just absolutely breathtaking. It really is. Anyway, there's the trig point to mark the 2 directions for the 2 different paths. There you go. The Watkins path goes left. The Raidu goes down there. The summit is up there. It's the last push now, guys. Oh, we've nearly done it. We made it. So I've had a break, I've had a sit down, and I've had a think. Do I want to go back down the Watkins path or go down the pig path and try and like catch a bus or something to go round to where the car's parked? The reason I didn't want to do the Watkins was because that last hike up, the really steep bit, scared me. Not so much scared me, but it did send me wobbly. I was nervous, I was really anxious, and it was scary. I'll say that, it was scary. And no, I'm not going down there again. Well, it's my fear of heights and being alone that made me actually stop thinking about going down there. So I thought, do you know what, I'm going to go back down the Watkins path and conquer the fear of heights. I've done really well so far with Helvellyn and the Striding Edge last weekend. So now I'm going to put my phone away and conquer this. That's what got me, that big drop just there. So what I'm going to do is concentrate on where my feet are going, not look at the ridge, and wish me luck. I did it. I made my way down that big ridge and I conquered the fear. Right, now I'm going to do the same path down the Watkins path, and I'm probably going to go for a little swim when I get down into the waterfalls. I've just run out of water. I just had to come and fill up at the stream and drop a water purifier tablet in it. So I've got to wait half an hour until that's drinkable. So time for a dip, I think. everyone says, why didn't you go for your little wild swim in the waterfalls? I kind of anticipated they'd be full. I don't think Snowdon's going to be the same while the kids are still off school. It's nice to see so many kids around though. Back in the car, done and dusted. 6 hours and 45. We had an hour at the top, 15 minutes on the way up, and a half an hour swim on the way down. So we could do it quicker, but this wasn't a time thing. This was just everyone saying the Watkins path was amazing. So I did it, and I did it. I had the wild camp last night, my first ever solo wild camp, and then my first ever run up the Watkins path. Now that's 4 paths I've done over 3 summits, and I've only got 3 paths left to do. I've got the Raidu, the Rangers, and Cribgoch. Cribgoch's not for today. Cribgoch's not for this year. I think that's me done with Snowdonia for the summer holidays. I will possibly nip up there the first weekday I have off work after the summer holidays. Today's a Monday. You'd expect it to be a little bit quieter, and it was just like the last time I went up, with it being a Sunday. An hour to queue up to go and see the trig point on the top, so I didn't want to do that. But it was so nice to see all the families up there with all their kids. I mean, kids as young as like 6 and 7 hiking up Mount Snowdon on the Watkins path, and there's me making a big deal about how hard it is, and these kids are just playing and just going at it. I mean, wow. I feel old. I've got to go home, get everything unpacked, air out the tent. Thanks for tuning in. If you're new around here, please subscribe.